Negrete, and I work at Mountain View Community Church. I've been at Mountain View for, I think it'll be 4 years this year. Yeah, it's actually my home church. I grew up in the youth ministry there myself, along with my brother and several cousins. Well, the biggest one is video games. Actually, I play a lot of video games. I try to do them for a personal YouTube channel sometimes. I have a personal Twitch channel that I do it for sometimes. Also just by myself or with my wife. Sometimes I play with my daughter too. I also do some light sketching, some light photography, and a whole lot of discovering music. And recently been reading manga and watching anime too. Well, for me, it starts really as a young kid. Growing up as a young kid, we kind of had like our family was together, but we had a mom and dad who fought a lot for various reasons. My dad, he had an addiction to drugs, and that caused several issues. He ended up in jail several times for that. He would disappear sometimes with his check and not come back, and how long he was gone would vary from time to time. But growing up as a kid, that set up a lot of like resentment towards my dad, and just like a lot of bottled up hatred, just for the fact that like while he wasn't there, I would catch my mom crying in her room sometimes. It was really, really heartbreaking for me, and I didn't really know what to do about it, so it just kind of turned into anger and frustration. Unfortunately, that anger and frustration ended up getting lashed out on my younger brothers, Jesus, and eventually Nicholas when he was born. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was in the household. They would fight so much. My dad would put holes in walls with his fist. There would be plates and silverware being thrown and stuff like that. It wasn't too nice, just to say the least. But going into high school, I kind of ended up in this position where I ended up dating girls just for the giggles, I guess. I was lonely, I was depressed, and with my parents constantly fighting each other, I just kind of wanted to have somebody's affection, even if it meant just meaningless dating. And it was just that, nothing else. But yeah, I remember getting to a point where I dated a girl for like a week and I didn't even know her name. So yeah, it was pretty desperate. Remember getting to a point where I kind of realized what I was doing and realizing that I needed help. So I decided to break up with that girl and then just kind of stop dating and then just kind of fill this hole that I kind of felt in my life. And that prompted me to go to Mountain View Community Church. This wasn't the first time I was there. This would actually be the second time I was there. Before, when I was there, it was because my mom would force me to go so I can watch over my younger brother Jesus. But like I said, this time was different. I was actually looking for something. And I started off by doing a lot of like volunteer work and obviously just being a part of the youth group. And just getting involved, making friends there, and getting to know everybody. And eventually summer rolls around and I get invited to go to their camp that they do during summertime. And I said, yeah. I went. I remember riding up there with my cousin Arhenis and thinking to myself that, like, this feels strange, like not like weird, but I feel like uncomfortable, like something's gonna happen here. And I remember telling that to Arhenis as well. But anyway, we get up there and somebody shares a message, and we have a band that's up there, and that band plays several worship songs. And I remember at the end of the whole thing, they give an opportunity to, to receive Christ. And the message that they had spoken up there, it resonated with me, and I decided then and there that that's what I needed. So I fell to my knees and I raised my hand to accept Christ. And I remember crying, and also Jesus, I think he was sitting right behind me, and he was also crying, and my cousin Yesenia was crying. Everybody was crying because they never thought it would happen to me, because I spent a lot of my time listening to devil worshipping metal music. But it ended up happening. I remember the youth pastor at the time, Pastor Matt, sat down with me and he asked me, you understand what this means, right? And I told him, yeah, it means I'm saved. And he said, yeah, but that means you have a target on your back, that the enemy's going to attack you with everything that he has, and he's not going to stop. I didn't think too much of it. I was just on such a adrenaline rush from what happened that I was like, bring it on, I can take it. Several years. Well, I come back down actually, and still touched by the message that of Jesus, that is forgiveness. And I come home, and I think it's the following year, I actually end up writing a letter to my dad. And he was home. I was just writing a letter just because I was too nervous to tell him to face to face. But I ended up offering my dad my forgiveness and telling him that I want to build a right relationship with him. And shortly after graduating high school, I actually ended up working with him for a week, and that was really cool. But it was during that time that my mom and my dad were going through a divorce. It was really bad, and it kind of ended in my dad taking his own life. And I remember that being a really hard time in my life, and thinking to myself, like, that's what Matt was saying, that I was going to get attacked, and this was that moment. That moment of, where do I stand here? Do I tell myself that my God has abandoned me, or do I tell myself that no, this was his decision, and see what God has planned for goodness out of this? And that's the route that I took. And I thank God that he protected my psyche during that time, not letting me get attacked too harshly and just guiding me through that time, having family who was sticking around, and my then girlfriend but now wife helping me during that time as well. Eventually growing to like come to terms with what that whole moment was. Like I said, just knowing that God had my back that whole time. And now that I've been a Christian for like almost 10 years, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's been easy. It's been difficult, but it's different knowing that you have the God of the universe, the God that created everything, the one that holds everything together, that He's right there and He's on your side specifically, you know. Coming close to having a new baby girl be born pretty soon here. I'm super excited and super blessed. And that would make 4 of us in this family, and I couldn't even begin to ask God for more. But yeah, God helped me during that time, and God helped guide me through a time when I was trying to figure out my anger issues and grudges that I was holding against family.